James Twin for the untouchable true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable True School Sports Empire, and y'all know the rest. Now listen, this is my official post-fight review for Wednesday Night Boxing, Pro Box TV. Chris Colbert versus Omar Salcido, and the result of the fight is a Chris Colbert, or it's Omar Salcido, I should say, getting a 9th round stoppage, beating the fight out of Chris Colbert, forcing the corner to step in, and yeah, let's talk about it. So this is an interesting fight, because I think Chris Colbert is one of the bigger names that has ever headlined a card on Pro Box. Been champion before, been involved in some big fights. This is a fighter in Chris Colbert. I would say, 4 years ago, during the pandemic, or like 2020, 2019, even 2021. This is a fighter that had a lot of hype around his name. This is a fighter that, was being linked to fight Shakur Stevenson at one point, but really and truthfully, when I watched this fight, I don't think it was for a lack of trying. I think he did the best he could with what he has right now in his career. But I think it's very, very apparent if you watch Chris Colbert fight these days. He looks shot. He looks really, really shot. The hand speed ain't there like it used to be. The confidence, it ain't there like it was 3-4 years ago. And in this particular fight against Omar Salcido, he was just a smaller guy. Salcido's a bigger, stronger, more consistent pressure fighter, and he slowly, methodically broke Chris Colbert down. Now, Chris Colbert had some moments in this fight where he would stay in the pocket and he would try to exchange and land some big shots, but the pathway to victory for him was going to be to box and move and maybe look to shoot in between the shots and maybe break this guy down. That didn't happen. He did a lot of moving, but it was to no avail. This guy, Salcido, just stayed on top of him, and it really does make me sad about Chris Colbert because I had high hopes for him 4 years ago, back when he was fighting like Jaime Arboleda and these kind of guys. But again, boxing has a crazy way of humbling all of us real quickly, humbling anybody real quickly. I don't think he'll ever be a world level fighter as far as the elite caliber again. I think that ship sailed the night he beat Hector Garcia because he hasn't really been able to capture his previous form to that fight. And now you're losing to guys like Omar Salcido, decent, good little fighters on Pro Box. I mean, it's a sad state of affairs for Chris Colbert. As far as Salcido, just talking about him, I don't want to make this all about Chris Colbert and what he's not right now. This is a guy that had a decent puncher, got a little bit of pop. Salcido has a win over Louis Correa, who's a solid fighter. Also has a loss too on Pro Box, so he's kind of been an up and down fighter. But this for him is a breakout fight for him, a good win for him because now he can parlay this into other things. Maybe bigger fights. We'll see what happens for him. But he is trained by Jose Benavidez and Team Benavidez, and he winds up now, I think, mildly at least for the hardcore boxing fans, he put his name on the map a little bit because now he's the guy that beat Chris Colbert, one of the guys that beat Chris Colbert. So good for him. I liked his pressure style. I liked his consistency throughout the rounds. He wasn't trying to let Colbert off the hook. He was cutting the ring off when he could, and just a real professional performance from him. So good for him. I'm sure bigger things are coming his way. And as far as Chris Colbert, I think he's shot. I legitimately believe that. And look, I want to explain it. I want to explain this to boxing fans. You don't got to be old to be shot. Sometimes some guys are shot at 27. Some guys are shot at 28. Some guys are shot young. He's one of those guys I think is shot younger because with boxing, if you don't live the life outside the ring and you don't, train hard all the time, these things can catch up with you. And, I know that Chris Colbert hasn't always lived that life, Not to say he didn't train hard for this fight, but I'm saying, if you don't do the right things throughout your career, boxing has a way of allowing those things to rear its ugly head at you. So look, man, I like Chris Colbert. I remember one of my first memories of covering boxing was going to Gleason's gym and seeing him hit the pads, and everybody talking about this kid, Lil B-Hop, and seeing him beat up on Titus Williams. I like him a lot, but I'm just telling y'all the truth. I don't think he's gonna really make too much more noise in boxing. So we'll see how it goes. Shout out to Omar Salcido. As far as the rest of the card, the one other fight I did get a chance to watch. I didn't get a chance to watch any other fight, but this one, you had Erdenebat, the Mongolian mole, the guy that got famous for breaking Ryan Garcia's ribs in sparring before the Tank fight. He was taking on the Dominican Frency Fortunato, a fighter that I'm very familiar with because Frenchie is from the South Florida area. Frenchie is a guy that I've been following for many, many years. And so I was really intrigued about this fight. When the fight first got made, I was asked a lot of questions about it from my friends in the South Florida boxing community. And my response to all of them was basically that I thought that Erdenebat, the Mongolian, he was going to be too strong for Frency Fortunato. And that's pretty much what happened. I think, I'll tell you guys this. Tendy reminds me a lot of Ivan Baranchyk. And the reason why he reminds me a lot about Ivan Baranchyk is because he's very heavy-handed. He's heavy-handed. And he fights at the same pace for the majority of the fight. So when opponents fight a guy like Tendy, they have to get through that initial shock value of how freaking strong he is. And once that happens, the opponents get a better chance to win down the stretch. So I remember watching Baranchyk when he fought Peter Petrov, and Peter Petrov was getting his ass waxed the first couple of rounds, but then Peter Petrov got up and had some moments of success. And I feel like Peter Petrov gave the blueprint for guys like Jose Zepeda later on and Josh Taylor to go ahead and beat up on Ivan Baranchyk, And the same thing goes here. Fortunato got out muscled, got pushed back, but after about 4.5 to 5 rounds of seeing this physicality and Tendy fighting at relatively the same pace, I think once he decided to just actually stay in the pocket and fight with him, because Tendy's weakness is that he's not the best fighter on the inside, he had some success. And I think down the stretch in the fight, he made Erdenebat, the Mongolian, look very, very ordinary. And I think for future opponents, if you're looking to beat Tendy, you watch the last couple of rounds of that fight and you kind of, pick some things up about what he doesn't do well, and then try to build off that with your skills. So, listen, Tendy wins another fight. I don't know. He's not ranked anywhere yet, but I know he's getting close. And he's a good fighter. I think that for him to get to the next level, and fighters, improving as a fighter is an ongoing process. It's a process you'll go through to the end of your career. The next level for him is to find another gear. He's strong, he's physical. These guys, know he's strong and he's physical. It's about taking that punching power and just maximizing it. And I think the best way for him to maximize it is he has to fight. He has to do better at changing the speed of his punches. He needs to not fight at the same pace for the whole fight. He needs to be able to find the extra gear. So I hope he can find it, because if he can, he's going to be a dangerous fighter for anybody at 135 or 130 or 140. Wherever he competes, he'll be dangerous for anybody, but he has to find that gear. And that's the next step in his development. So he gets the win. And that's my thoughts on tonight's Pro Box card. Chris Colbert gets beat up by Omar Salcido. And Tendy Erdenebat beats Frency Fortunato. Good fighter. Frency Fortunato, good fighter. But, I knew he wasn't going to be able to really do much with Tendy, because I'd seen Frency Fortunato fight Bernardo Torres, who many of you guys may remember fought Bruce Carrington earlier this year and got knocked out. And Bernardo Torres was pushing Fortunato back. So I just knew that Tendy would be too physically strong for Fortunato over the course of 10 rounds. But listen, good Wednesday night from Pro Box. Shout out to Pro Box, and an extra big shout out to the Pro Box card, the Pro Box TV ring card girls, the best in the business. So next time we go to Tampa, next time we go to Plant City, we have to get that content with the Pro Box ring card girls, because they're the best. They've won ahead, and they've somehow managed to upgrade the ring card girls. So shout out to all the fine folks there. I don't know who's in charge of that. I'd like to know that. Who's in charge of picking these ring card girls, because whoever it is, they're doing a great job. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What did you guys make of Chris Colbert, and what did you guys make of Tendy Erdenebat against Fortunato? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canterbury, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.